5-Star podcast in conjunction with Stealth Competitions. Since we met last week, we spoke about a couple of games on the radar. A terrific victory at Easter Road, albeit we seemed to kind of run out of gas a wee bit in the last 20 minutes. But the big one was Sunday at Hampden Park. And since then, the club have issued a statement following their communication with the SFA, their dissatisfaction on the replies when they queried one or two of the refereeing decisions. Firstly, Ian, are the club right to go forward like that, to question after the event the refereeing decisions?
Of course, it wasn't even just Rangers fans or Celtic fans debating the couple of decisions that went against Rangers. It's something done me, so let's see. Hopefully the club can put a wee stamp down. And now, obviously, nobody's happy, but these decisions went against us, and again, it's become a regular occurrence, I think.
Barry, all we ask is consistency, but it appears to be, with alarming regularity, Rangers are on the wrong side of big decisions.
And certainly there were big decisions in Sunday, and I'm not sitting here in my blue tinted specs on, but the one that jumps out at me is obviously the Trusty incident with Jack Butland. And I don't care what anybody says, Tom, it's a clear red card. And you can see that with Trusty's reaction straight after he's done it. He's known that he's had a boot, and I hear people going about force and all this, but listen, it's dangerous, endangering an opponent, and for me it should have been a red card. But what I do like after the game, I like the manager, he didn't want to get involved in it. He wanted to concentrate on in terms of how he felt the boys done and what they can improve on. And but as you said, some of the decisions that went against us on Sunday were baffling.
We'll leave that with the club to continue to take the SFA on in some of these decisions. And as I say, all we ask for is parity and consistency. And clearly on Sunday that wasn't evident. From the 120 minutes on Sunday, having to play 80 minutes, Ian, a man down, you could see the way the scoreline finished reflected that Celtic perhaps appeared to be more on top than they actually were. But 10 men against 11 for 80 minutes was just too big a mountain to climb. I
think the manager will take a lot of heart. Obviously the Ashgard sending off, and after that I thought they dug in. I was at the game with Barry, and we didn't really start the game well, Tommy. We never started. First half an hour I talked to Barry, and Barry pointed at bump where now we thought the frailties were in the middle of the park. When we went to 10 men, we sort of nullified that, and we had two great chances with Shemeti and also with Nico. It's still at 0-0, and two great chances there, but I think the manager will take a lot of heart from what he's seen after we went down to 10 men. I thought there was a lot of desire, and unlucky again. Any given day now, with that wee bit of luck, we might have won the game.
Yeah, that red card, and it changed the whole thinking for the manager. Clearly Barry had two up top, and losing Asgardy to just leave one up top at that stage, but he made some brave and, for me, quite courageous decisions throughout the event.
No, certainly. I think if you ask a manager, he'll be disappointed. Durrant just pointed out the first half hour of the game. I don't think we started well. Do
you think that's because of lack of experience in that particular fixture?
Maybe it is, but we lose a bad goal as well for a set piece. I think we're disappointed how we defended that. Obviously Asgard gets sent off, and the managers get 10 minutes maximum, half time, and I thought he was very brave with the 4-3-2. I thought it worked perfectly, well disciplined in terms of they stayed in their formation, and I thought in the counter attack we looked like scoring virtually every time we went forward, and I thought we were the dominant team in the second half. Just if we could have brought that level in the first half, I think it could have been a different game.
If Chermiti scores in that 20th minute,
he's just going through a tough time. It's one of the ones you just want a ricochet to go off him, and he hopefully gets that wee bit of confidence. And obviously the price tag as well. There's clearly a lot of pressure on the young man, but it's not anything to do with him. He doesn't decide the transfer fee, but then when you're brought in for that price, people expect you to really hit the ground running and be scoring on a regular basis.
Ian, he must be doing it on the training ground, otherwise the manager won't select him.
Of course, and he's actually, his connection with the ball, he's actually connected too well with it. Now, as Barry said, you need a sclaff there, and with the pace of the ball, it goes by the keeper. He's actually come off, and it's sort of come off and off at the angle, but he's getting into the right positions. You can't blame him for that. I thought sometimes he shows some nice touches, some link-up play, but at the end of the day, when you're a centre forward and you're wearing that iconic number 9, Tommy, you need to score goals. and that's the main thing. And you know, we sit here every week, and hopefully he gets there. But he's certainly getting into positions, and maybe one day, maybe come this weekend or now come against Roma, it might click.
Yeah, I think we've got to give credit to Danny Rowe. We didn't know much about him when he took the job. He had no time to work with the squad ahead of the match against Brann. He got a right good tune out of them against Kilmarnock and Hibernian. He appears, Barry, to have a real man management skill.
Yeah, I've in the short period of time I have been impressed with him. Not just what he's done on the part with the players. I think when you listen to him in his pressers, I think he's very open and honest, and he's always positive. And I think that'll breed into the players. And in a short period of time, you're right. Take Brann away. He didn't have a lot of time. He was just rushed into the job in terms of doing his pressers and whatever. I thought Kilmarnock. I thought Hibs. I know he says they tired. I actually enjoyed the second half performance because they had to defend, and we didn't look like conceding. And I thought periods of the game, certainly in the second half against Celtic, we were good. But it's all about winning. He understands that. And the beauty of being at Rangers is when you have a disappointment and a tough result, there's always a game round the corner, and we've got two big games coming up before the international break, and we've got Rome on Thursday night, and then we've got the tough trip up to Dens Park.
How does he prepare the side for Roma on Thursday, Barry? Because of that excessive demand, fatigue might be a factor. How does he shape a side for Thursday?
Well, fatigue, listen, there's plenty. They're well looked after, the players, that's for sure. They've got three days complete right. Rest. I'm sure Monday and Tuesday they'll not do too much. Wednesday you'll have a game plan in what way he's going to go against Roma. And I like the fact is he's willing to change it. He's willing to adapt to a back three, a back four. So it'll be interesting to see what he puts out in Thursday night.
Ian, you had eyes on Roma on Sunday night against Milan when they lost 1-0. What's your memories?
They look very very good. Especially now in the final third. Now they're very aggressive in terms of attacking. Typical Roma team, typical Italian team. Their back four doesn't move, and they let the other outfield players, now the six, go and play. But it was a good game. I must admit it, I was watching my wee bit bleary-eyed after the game, but they come up against a very good Milan team. But it showed now, they're typical. They're a very good Roma team, and it's going to be a hard game. But after a disappointment on Sunday, what a game to come back to. Now, Europa Cup, a game in Roma, and one of the iconic teams in Italy. And I'm looking forward to it. Funny you should say, you talk about fatigue. Now, the amount of time Rangers were down for 10 men, there's only one of the players went down with cramp. I've seen several Celtic players struggling now, having 11 men, and also the changes. And so I think that the manager, I think we've got that wee boost out of him. And I think at this present moment, the players will be wanting the game to come thick and fast.
You can tell they're buying into him as well.
Yeah,
that's important.
Encouraging.
They're trusting in what he's saying and how he's going about it, and that's a big thing. If the players buy into it, then you've got a right good chance of being successful. And as I said, I've been impressed with him. I like the way he comes across, very positive, and that's what's needed this season, because it's been a tough start to the season, but he's been a breath of fresh air.
And it's an inherited squad that he's had to learn very quickly about. And again, the one player that he worked with previously, Gassama, he left him on the bench. So again, he's not frightened to make these big calls.
He's not scared to make big decisions either. You've seen at half time he's obviously made a change with Danilo and Gassama coming on. You just mentioned he was on the bench. So look, players know that you need to perform to play in his team.
No favourites.
No, there's no favourites, and he's not scared to make big decisions, and that's the best way to be.
Moore, I thought, really shouldered the wheel when he came on.
He did. He's impressed me the last few games that he's come on. I thought he was good against Hibs. He tired a wee bit, and I thought again he made an impact when he came on on Sunday. He certainly, you're seeing the reasons why Rangers brought him to the club, and you've got to remember he's only 18 as well. He's probably got a fright how big Rangers actually is and the demands that are put on you, but he's starting to show the potential that he's got.
He looks more comfortable given a free role, Ian, than having to operate in the wide area as his Rangers career started.
Well, I think it takes a lot out of him now, the wide area. Now we're up and down all the time now. You need a Mikey Moore, as you say, that wee final third, then that wee pocket in the holes. And as Barry said, I thought he'd done really well, but he needs game time now. He's got to show the manager I can go and play 90 minutes at a level where it's now. You need to take Rangers. Gassama come on and done really well, I thought, as well, obviously for the penalty. And again, that's the manager now knows he's got an abundance on the bench he can rely on. If they're not in the starting 11, then make sure you've got to be in the starting 11. Mike Moore, he's impressed me, and long may it continue, because we need that.
We have made some strides forward.
And I thought we missed Conor Barn. I thought on Wednesday night he was head and shoulders was the best player in the park. And I'm delighted for him, because he's a wee sponge, Conor. He's desperate to learn, and I thought he was a real driving force in Wednesday night, and we missed him. Because, as you say, he's a bundle of energy, but he's a good player, Conor. He doesn't get the credit I think he deserves at times.
Will you throw him back in Thursday?
I would put him in there, no doubt in my mind about that.
And give him what sort of responsibilities?
Just to anchor in the middle of the pitch there, and let, whether it's Nico or Dio, have that bit of freedom to go forward, because he's get better. I thought when he first came in at Aberdeen he was a bit all over the place, running about. He's just trying to impress. That's just the kind of attitude he's got, but he's more disciplined as he's been at Rangers. He's learning all the time. As I said, watching the game against Hibs at Easter Road, I thought he was exceptional in the middle of the pitch.
Well, let's hope he replicates that form if he's asked to play against Roma in midweek. One player I want to talk to you about, Barry, that you know particularly well, who right now is in as good a vein of form as he's been since he joined Rangers, Jack Butland. Big save at Easter Road in the penalty spot, secure 3 points, and he didn't deserve to be in the losing side on Sunday.
No, listen, I've known Jack a long time. When I was at Birmingham, Jack was a young player coming through, and you could see the huge potential he had. And listen, he's a fantastic goalkeeper. He went through a wee tough time last season, but every player goes through tough times. It's how you come back for that. And I thought he's come back brilliantly. He played the last couple of games of the season, and I think so far he's been outstanding. I'm sure if you asked Jack last Sunday, he could have done better at the Kilmarnock goal.
Is he so self-critical?
Yep. But then look at the save he pulls off in the second half. You look at the penalty save in Wednesday night against Hibs, and you look at his performance again on Sunday. No, he's a big player for Rangers. He's a big character as well, Jack. And I'm just delighted he's got his form back.
James Tavernier too, a leader. Ian.
Excellent. I thought a long way Butland, and it's hard now. It's hard enough when you take on Celtic with 10 men, but you need others to stand up as well. And the captain certainly stood up. Now, excellent. I thought he was driving the players on. He played in numerous positions on Sunday. He was now obviously wide in the right to start with, of the 5, and then he went into the centre half, and then he went into the middle of the park. And he's just a sort of, Barry knows him a lot more than me, but he seems the sort of player, if you ask him to play anywhere, he'll just go and play. And I was delighted for him. Unfortunately, the result wasn't what we wanted, but I was delighted the way he went about his duty again.
He'd celebrated his 34th birthday on Friday, so fair play.
Well, listen, Tom, I'd only passed him in the corridors at Ibrox and just says all right to him. I didn't really know him personally until obviously I came in last season, and I had 2 minutes with him, and I knew how much Rangers meant to him. Yep, he was a brilliant captain. He's a real leader. He's not the one that a lot of people are quite vocal on the pitch. He'll talk, but he's not as vocal as probably people would like. But I tell you what, he was a brilliant person to have about the place, and he was a real driving force, and he was a joy to work with. I absolutely loved working with him.
It's the 5-Star Podcast in conjunction with Stealth Competitions. Some big prizes to be won with them at the moment. There's a fancy Lamborghini. There's Barry Ferguson's old Ranger truck. Oh, I'm having a go at that. That's
apparently it was a trip to Cyprus. Somebody won that. I'll find out later.
I wouldn't have minded that one, right? The weather's good there at the moment. Roma. We've never played Roma before, but they are a typical Italian team. If you look at their recent results, they're the masters of 1-0 victories.
They are, but again, they've had a sort of up and down, if you call it. They had a wee period in the late 80s, early 90s where they dominated Italian football.
Soonest manager for a spell, I think.
I think he's been everywhere.
Yeah.
But I remember the famous Liverpool team when they played Rome in Rome, European Cup.
Bruce Grobbler with the rubber legs.
And they're always the famous now sort of Reddy Brownie top, and they've some fantastic players over the years. And
Rudy Voller,
Totti. Now he's
your turn, Barry.
Totti's
I was just I was just there. You've got me thinking there, Totti.
Yeah.
Antonio Conte.
Yeah.
Some great players. I remember when I watched him years ago, there were a couple of Brazilian players for him. He was a sort of first fashion icon now with his socks down. and I think it was maybe Cruzeiro. Anyway, they're a really good team, but they've got a great European pedigree, Roma, as the Italian teams do. They always seem to get the later echelons of European trophies. And it's going to be a tough game, but it's going to be a great game now. And it's going to be another iconic game now for the Rangers boys. The first time I played Roma, and I'm sure now they hope they'll get the crowd. I can see the crowd. Even we come out on Sunday along with Barry. You can see the crowd. The crowd are with the team. You know, usually you come out after an Old Firm game. Now there's
flat.
But it wasn't. It was a, wouldn't say it was now, but you can see there was a more energised support, and I'm sure they'll be there on Thursday again, their numbers, supporting the team.
You know what, Rangers fans, they want to see your team winning and they want to see you playing good football, but what they expect is a team that it runs itself into the ground, and I thought they certainly done that, certainly over the second half, and the fans appreciate that. Just the next step now is starting to win games consistently. So it's a sore one because it's a semi-final, you want to be getting to that final, don't you? But listen, you need to dust yourself down as quickly as possible because there's a lot of big games coming up.
It does necessitate a change to the fixture list. We're meant to play Hibs on the Sunday.
Monday,
it's been shifted to the Monday because Celtic and St Mirren obviously will boss Hampden on the Sunday. Just Roma, Barry, tend to play a 3-5-2. How would you combat that?
Interesting. Do you match up against them, or do you go a 4-4-2? Where I think Danny Rowe, he's not scared to go in and maybe surprise him a wee bit. But what you know what you're going to get for Roma. They're going to be tough to beat. All Italian sides, they love defending. They're set up really rigid. It's going to be a tough one. So I'm sure the managers looked into them, watched them quite a bit, and it's about trying to surprise them as well because they're not going to change. They've got a certain way of playing Roma, but the good thing about this new manager is he's flexible. Yeah.
Ian, you touched on it. The fans left Hampden in the knowledge that this team is growing up under Danny Rule. Thursday nights in Europe, Ibrox has been something particularly special when the fans are in good voice. How important it is that the fans show that and perhaps try and intimidate Roma a wee bit from the first whistle?
I remember we played Leipzig. The fans got the team over the line that night. The atmosphere was absolutely incredible, and it's going to be the same again now. As I said, now we touched on playing Roma for the first time, and it's just it was going to be a special match. Barry said there, you just got to make sure you try and get Roma on the back foot, try and exploit the spaces, but they're not used to doing. And as I said now, they're going to sample Ibrox for the first time. I know they've got a lot of experience in their team, but if you get it going and we get the crowd going, now Ibrox is intimidating. I know they're playing big games in Milan and Juventus, but come Thursday night, hopefully the place will be, and then we've just got to show what we can do because it's a bit grim reading just now because we're at the bottom of the league with no points. We'd like to see them hopefully get 3 points or maybe even get a point on the board just to make sure we're competing in Europe. But I'm certainly under the manager, I'm sure they'll be going for it on Thursday.
Right, ruffle a few feathers, make it uneasy for them, get right in their faces for the word go, because Danny Rowe likes a team to be very direct and press high up the pitch. That's what you need to do. But they have got, Durrant mentioned that, they've got good experience. They are a very good team. But listen, we're at Ibrox under the lights, European nights, you can't beat their nights.
Every game for this current Rangers squad is a school day for the boys, isn't it?
It is, and it's new to them because the manager's certainly got a different way of playing, and he's got a few different ways of playing. So it's new to the boys, but they need to pick it up pretty quick because at Rangers it's all about winning. We need to get back to winning ways. We're disappointed with Sunday, but listen, that's in the past now. We need to look forward. We need to try and get points on the board Europa League, and then we need to make sure we go up to Dens Park next Sunday and come away with 3 points.
Final snapshot on Roma, Ian. They lost at home this season 2-1 to Victoria Pilsen. Does that have any bearing, the fact that we turned Pilsen over at Ibrox? Is there any correlation you can draw from that?
No, it shows you they're beatable on any given night, and if you turn up, Rangers, now watching the last 3 weeks, if Rangers turn up, Rangers can beat anybody. So they've got to make sure they'll have to play their A game on Thursday, no doubt about it. But these things can happen in Europe on any given night. If you get it right in Europe and get your tactics right, your formation, and your certain players, your big players turn up, Rangers can beat anybody.
So it is Dundee next under Stephen Presley. They got a draw at Ibrox earlier in the season. They've been turned over a few times this season on league business, but they did pull a rabbit out the hat and beat Celtic 2-0. So we can't, Barry, underestimate them by any shape or form.
No, and they get battered on Saturday
Yeah.
with Hearts 4-0. But it's different when you go up to Dens Park. It's always a difficult place.
Used to be a great pitch.
Yeah, but it is good. They spent a bit of money on it because they had a few problems, didn't they, a year or so ago. So look, there's no doubt. Look, I couldn't have cared less if you were playing them on concrete. We just need to make sure we get a win. The big results have came against. They obviously got a point off us. They beat Celtic pretty convincingly. They thoroughly deserved that. So it's not going to be easy.
They're a big side, big physical, athletic side.
Yeah, they'll try and be physical against us, but that's another thing that I've seen that the manager's brought in. He wants to try and be physical as well. It doesn't care what you shouldn't care what height you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't care who you're coming up
Glad
against.
you said that.
You've got a
5 foot yeehaw.
you've got a Rangers jersey on. So
Yeah.
you need to match the effort. And if you match the effort to the opposition, I've no doubt in my mind we've got better players and quality will come through, but you need to win the battle first.
And then earn the right to play your football.
100%.
Ian, Stephen Presley by the day looks more like a geography teacher that's taking a wrong turning, but he's a football man and he started his career at Rangers.
Yeah.
Was it true he was known as the son of Gough?
Oh, that was his favourite position. He wanted to play centre half, but he was, in terms of the strength, that wasn't there. And Goffey sort of took him under his wing and sort of now tried to prepare him. And he carved out a great career for himself.
Did?
Elvis. You're right, it looks like something out of Harry Potter just now with the glasses and the cloak and all that on, honestly, like Gandalf. But he set his stall out. He came in, I don't think he was the people's favourite when he first came into Dundee, but he said some great results. And he'll be looking for survival this year. But it's living else, and Barry will tell you, it doesn't matter what you do, every team turns up against Old Firm. That's their cup final. There are not many chances, apart from maybe the Dundee Derby, it'll be the third or fourth time they're playing in front of a full house, and they'll be there, the crowd, they'll be up, and Barry's spot on. If we don't match that sort of aggression and endeavour, then you're going to be for a hard day. But if you go and match it, you could beat them. But we've got to go now, roll the sleeves up, depending on the weather, what the weather's going to be like. But it was always a great surface when we played it then, so gives you opportunity to go and play, but win the battle first, then you can go and win the game.
As soon as that bus rolls up and you walk in, you can feel it. They're double motivated to beat Rangers.
It's in the air.
You can smell it, and it's just really simple. You need to, individually, who you're playing against, you need to better his effort. And I believe we've got better players, and that's me not being disrespectful to Dundee. They have got some good players, but we've got better players. But it's all about who wins the battle, and you need to be up for it. And if our players are up for it, then I see us coming back down the road with 3 points.
We head into another international break after the trip to Dens Park. Will the message be over the next 2 games to the players from the coaching staff, empty your tank?
Yep, 100%. Obviously there'll be a few players that will go away in international duty, but 2 big efforts. Let's try and get points on the board in Europa League, and we don't come away from Dundee with anything less than 3 points. It's plain and simple. We can't drop any more points in the league. I'm sure the manager knows that. I'm sure the players know that. The supporters certainly know it. So a couple of big games, but a couple of big games that, as a Rangers player and a Rangers supporter, you should be really looking forward to.
Dundee have a good mix. I think one of the reasons Stephen Presley got the job, he was head of the academy at Brentford, and he's shopping an economy level, but good physical players in the lower reaches of England. But I think they've also got some good loanies in the side. The wide right boy from Swansea looks a real talent.
He's come on, he scored a few goals for him, and he looks lively as well, but very pacey. You can tell now he's played at a great level, well, a decent level, sorry, down south, and Elvis are known. He's along with Barry Nicholson. He's who was at Fleetwood, run about all that era, so they'll know the calibre player they need. They know what was needed for the Premier League in terms of getting about players. But they've got a right good mixture. They can mix it. Great. You've seen against Celtic how well they've done it set pieces. They whip in great balls. So we've just got to go and make sure we can match up. That's what I'm saying. That we've got to do our own business. Have you seen in the last few weeks now with Celtic dropping points when they went to Tynecastle, now you've seen Hearts dropping points when they went to St Mirren, so now all of a sudden if the teams are dropping points, you've got to make sure now you're on your A game in Barry's spot. We just make sure we look after our game and win our game, then we see what happens there, and then we can just chip away and hopefully get on a run.
There won't be a new face in the dugout for Rangers at Dens Park, but the head coach has confirmed that he's in the market to supplement the coaching staff, probably with a former player. What's the word in the street, Barry?
just the same as everybody, what's been bandied about who's got a chance of getting the job. But I do think it's important that you have somebody there who has been at Rangers and understands the demands and the expectations. And it's good to see that the manager wants somebody like that in, because he could be like, no, I'm having my own people, Germans or whatever, but no, he's wanting somebody with the knowledge of the game up here and understanding what Rangers is all about. And I think at this early stage the manager certainly bought into the standards and the traditions, and I like that.
Yep.
And a lot of people make a lot about it, but it's good to see him on the touchline with his suit on and his
passion.
Yeah, that's just the way that since I've been going to watch Rangers, the manager's always been. And it's good to hear that he's wanting to bring somebody in with a Rangers connection. And I'm sure the names of Lee Wallace and Stephen Davis, etc., they guys have been it and seen and done it at Rangers, won trophies. So it'll be interesting to see over the international break who it is.
Any of the three that have been tipped.
And Neil McCann,
Neil McCann, obviously Stephen Davis or Lee Wallace, they all pretty much fit the profile that we would all be happy to see getting the job.
Yeah, and it's good because the players can bounce things off. They know the coach now that who's been at Rangers now, that they know now the Davises, the Wallaces, the McCanns, the players. So the players can bounce things. Sometimes the manager is bad at town or not being addressed them a lot, so he can get a coach and the coach can bounce things off the players. And it's good now. It's all about communication. But it's great just having somebody like that, and I'm sure the manager, as we said a couple of weeks ago, he can bounce things off him now in terms of now what's needed at the club. Yeah, I think he knows what's needed at the club now. I think when you play the Old Firm game and it leaves a sour taste in your mouth when you lose it, so he'll be knowing what's required. But he needs a bit of hand, and if he can get somebody in that can help him who's Rangers orientated, then it'll stand him in good stead.
Let's see, watching him after the game doing his interview, you could see he was hurting as well.
Yeah.
And it's good to hurt. See, when you suffer a defeat, be hurting, be disappointed. That should be your motivation, not to have that feeling again. And I get that sense for the manager. He's hurting. I've seen a few of the players do their interviews after the game. You could see they were hurting, because the worst thing is, Durrant will tell you, getting beat off your fiercest rivals, but you've got to make it hurt first and not accept it. And as I said to you, we've got a couple of big games coming up where you can put the wrongs right.
Fingers crossed that's the way it unfolds. Your biggest rivals, Ian, I've got one special memory to share with everyone today, and that is, in this day in Rangers history, Rangers beat Celtic 1-0 at Ibrox. The only goal of the game came from Maurice Johnson. Do you remember it?
I was sitting up in the stand, I was injured at the time. I remember it was in about 5 minutes to go.
Yep.
And I remember the ball coming in and it came out. Next minute went out to Gary Stevens. And Gary's usual, Gary's up the park and wasn't the greatest across. And I think it was Eric Morris. No, not Eric Morris. Morris.
Yeah.
He sort of flaffed his clearance and it felt a wee mo. And that was the making a mo. He's drilled it in the bottom corner. It's only time.
Then to catch him, actually.
I think somebody caught him. I seen a couple of coppers celebrating the corner, so they must have had a bet on. And I think that now they always wanted. Now he'd actually started the season really well, wee Mo. But I think that's the goal he wanted, and he dispatched in the corner by Big Bonner. But I remember the ball coming across and Chris Morris,
yeah.
And he sort of missed it, and it felt wee Mo perfect, and he drilled it away, and that was it. There was no stopping wee Mo after that.
Barry must have had some cojones to do that gig.
Yeah, fair set of balls to do that. That's for sure. But
the side on for you, Tommy.
But I'll tell you something. What a player he was.
Yeah, underestimated what he did off the ball as well.
Yeah, but just he had quality. He could hold the ball in. He could do everything. Maurice Johnson. And then obviously when Rangers sign him, you're thinking, oh, here we go. But then you just see the way he celebrated goals. And I thought he was brilliant at Rangers.
Yeah, he really was.
His first year, now, but see Rangers Scotland. If not, he was up top 5 centre forwards in the world. That his first year, and then the second year again. And he was. You see when you're injured, you get to watch him. He did everything.
Do you think that spell in France was the making of him? It developed him further.
I think of course he played with some really good players over there now that what they had in Nantes. And I think now when you go and sample a new setup, and now you're growing, and again you're playing again a different blend of football. And I thought we brought wee Morris on. And but he was a great player. I thought he was a great player for Rangers.
He never stayed in Glasgow, did he?
No, he stayed in
Edinburgh.
He had a suit of armour on most of the time he went to Glasgow.
How long may he make a tank?
He had the first bulletproof Hummer. Sorry.
But that just shows the mentality of the guy.
Yeah. Massive.
That tells you what he's all about. And as I said to you, as a young boy watching it, it was a shock to everybody, wasn't it? But what a player he was.
His agent at the time was Bill McMurdo, Special Agent McMurdo. He also said that he tried to, or there was an interest from Souness and Walter Smith at the time to sign Frank McAvenny. And Bill McMurdo to this day will say the opposite characters. Mo was ready to embrace the demands of Rangers for Frank McAvenny. Was a non-starter, Barry.
Well, I can see why, because he's mad Celtic, isn't he? Aye, but look, in terms of, as I go back to it, big character to go into that.
Because Stephen Presley, we talked about, played for both.
Kenny Miller.
Kenny Miller. Yeah.
Aye. There's a
Mark
few.
Brown, goalkeeper. Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah, I know. Don't think I'd have done too well in Kieran Parry.
No, just about to say it. I don't
Then
think
the road for you.
I don't think I'd be an all-go zone for me.
Yeah. You mentioned Kenny Miller, interestingly, again, in this day in Rangers history, going back 25 years ago today, Rangers 7, St Mirren 1. Kenny Miller scored 5.
Five
Barry,
goals,
did you play that day?
Aye. Kenny was still a bit raw when we first signed him.
Yeah.
You could see there was a player in there. Kenny, see, as a lone striker, Kenny Miller was phenomenal, I thought.
Yeah.
He was brilliant playing up there. He occupied the defenders. He had so much energy about him, but he had real good quality as well, Kenny Miller. And then when it away, I think he went down to Wolves, didn't he?
Yeah.
He made a few moves, and then the second time when he came back to Rangers, you could see he was a more complete centre forward.
3 times at Rangers for Kenny Miller.
I was just
it was
about to say that. Aye, it wasn't twice, it was 3 times.
He was a yo-yo, wasn't he? He was in and out every 2 minutes. But he was a class player, Kenny. You can tell. And he was a good lad as well, good about dressing. And another one, he had a great career in terms of, you see some of the teams he played for, but he came, I remember when he first came in, I just left Rangers and I went to Kilmarnock and we played him. You could see he was now a bit like Barry said about now, wee Barron, running all over the place, not then under Dick. He became a more culture player and then got his move to him down south, floated about and then come back up and away, and then I think he was in Canada, he was in Turkey. So he'd be racking up a few bob right enough. But,
Swiss bank account,
exactly,
probably pretty healthy.
But he came back and then obviously the gaffer got hold of him in the later bit of his career, but you could see he was good about young players, not in terms of getting them to learn the game.
He was clever. He was a clever football player as well, Kenny. He just wasn't all about going and closing centre halves down and scoring goals. His positional sense, and he was a clever football player.
He's still a big Rangers fan, by the way.
No,
Huge.
I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anytime you speak to him.
Is he working with Ronnie?
He was. Ronnie Dowd lost his job.
Did he?
But I think Kenny's still out in the Middle East or somewhere. I'm not quite sure.
I thought
No, he was
he was at Atlanta.
Aye,
Was he?
MLS. Aye.
Oh, I didn't. I thought it was the Middle East. Aye.
No, I think he's there with Ronnie.
No, he lost his job. But
Did he?
Aye, Ronnie Dowd lost the job. If you know where Kenny Miller is,
He's a
drop
bell.
us a WhatsApp along with any other questions you might have. Kenny Miller, top man. We're almost at that stage. We're looking at the infamous A to Z of the
here we
alternative
go.
Rangers, and this week we're at N. And the first thing that struck me for N was Narsa, and I think it's testimony to all those in the North America, the way they continue to support Rangers over the years. 3rd generation now, doesn't matter what time of day it is, they're there to watch their team in. And you're the honorary president of Naples Supporters Club as part of Narsa. There's some crew.
Lovely, great boys. And I'm actually, I remember Narsa. I got that and Big Bobby and that, but I was fortunate enough to do a couple of dues now in Hamilton, Ontario, Toronto. I've been to Vegas, I've done Calgary, and they're all great.
Aye, all right.
And but I'm trying to give them a mention, but it's getting a lot harder from now because they're trying to generate a younger crew going now. But all the old expats, when you see them, they're magic, and they're reminiscing. It's when you go away, when now you see Steenie and Bud and all that, they all love that. And Big Pete McCloy, Big DJ, their era.
DJ's birthday today,
Yes,
by the way.
Aye, do you know what amazes me? They get up middle of the night to go and watch. They'll travel. Some of them have to travel an hour and a half, 2 hours to go and watch a game, and it just shows you what the club means to people over there. And
Incredible.
it's just how big Rangers is, isn't it?
Yeah, Narsa, what
I
a
know.
terrific organisation.
Exactly. And we're not putting a plug in, but we've not had an invite in Naples for a few years. So if you're watching and you're up, me, Tommy, Barry,
Peter and the boys will be there.
Big Sammy Stelthor there. He'll get us somewhere.
Yeah, Naples loyal. A terrific day out where Peter Hull is one of their office bearers. Has his business called. Well, I better not say it, but it's all about cleaning pools, and it begins with an F. Top man.
He's a great boy.
Okay, sticking with N. Nuisance. Who was the biggest nuisance in the dressing rooms when you both played?
Probably me.
Was that a confession? A confession from you and Durrant?
I was a grade 1 pest.
Give us an idea of what you would have
I've
got
been
up
with
to.
my last 2 weekends, man. And I can vouch for that.
I'm hyper. I'm hyper, and I'm always can't shut up, and I'm infectious but hyper, and now when you get people like Gascoigne, McCoist, and the goalie and Bomber, and this young upstart as well, when he was coming in, you need to be on your toes, so you need to be quite lively. Just things in the kitchen, the usual, and things around about the park, and just being a nuisance. But as I say, the infection.
Oh, good natured.
It was. Well, everybody seemed to like me anyway, so nobody's apart from Sooners put one on my chin.
But you got your own back to a degree, didn't you?
Yeah, it's like, well, I always get back all the time. But
I think Derek got his own bag on you as well.
McCoist again, now he's timekeeping all that now. As I said, now we said last week, if you're waiting on Coist, now you're waiting 2 or 3 hours, and he's unbelievable, that boy, for timekeeping.
Big Marvin, would he be a bit of a pest in the dressing room?
No, Big Marv was a good teammate. Sadly, out of all the players that I've played with, sadly he's not with us anymore. I'd say the biggest nuisance was Fernando.
Really?
He was a pest.
A bit like Ian, a bit hyper.
Like
he was double hyper.
He was like non-stop. Come in the morning. I'm not a morning person, but he was just so noisy and loud. But do you know what? He's infectious, and you need people like that. But nuisance when you just wanted to maybe relax the night before a game. He'd be up to no good, whether it was in a hotel or wherever we were.
We'll leave it as no good, I think.
He was some man, Fernando, and just sadly the illness he had. It was just a shocking way to see somebody go like that.
He reinvented himself a bit as a player, from right back to right midfield or central midfield.
If you think back, Fernando had a tough start to his Rangers
very much
career.
so.
And I don't know if you remember the Celtic game he got brought off early. That affected him for a while, but gradually he grew into be a really captain. Top Rangers player, and he could play anywhere as well. One of the fittest guys. Again, with the illness he had, if you looked at him as a player, he was fit as a fiddle.
Yeah.
And just next thing you get the news and just watch him suffer for a number of years. It was
shame.
It was sad to see, but. He was a nuisance, but he was also a brilliant teammate.
Yeah, sadly taken too soon, Fernando Eriksson. We've very briefly touched on it just as the fourth official's given us a 4 minutes added time to get through. Derek Johnson, his birthday today. They don't get much better by way of Rangers legends. 16 years of age, scoring the winner in a cup final. His jokes are still from when he was 16 years of age, mind you, Ian, but Derek's a great character and a great Ranger.
I bumped into him yesterday. And he told us, and so we had a wee coffee. I was along with Archie, me, Andy Cameron yesterday, having a coffee with him. And Big Gigi was 72 today. No, but he's looking well, looking great. He's out doing a bit of walking, all that, keeping the levels. And I seen him at the game the other week.
My Kilmarnock game.
Yeah, the Kilmarnock game. I went to see him in the suites, and again he's looking great. And 72, it's all a number in it. Wish we could get back to 72 right enough, Tommy. But
in 1972.
Yes, but good. And have a happy birthday, Biggin. If you're watching, you'll probably no pay for it. You've no pay for it anyway, so nobody watching. But have a nice birthday.
I never seen him, but see, you go back on YouTube and like you're an old man and people talk about him. What a player!
Incredible.
Centre forward, centre half.
Yep. Midfield as well. I think called.
Could play anywhere, so that tells you what calibre player he was.
Yeah. Happy birthday,
He
DJ.
played Bayern Munich. Remember Ibrox?
Yeah.
The middle of the park was Parlane and Johnston.
Incredible. Yeah.
Frightening.
Really was.
I seen him no long ago.
He looks
unbelievable.
I think he's in an ice machine.
He's got the secret of eternal youth.
No, I think
Derek Parlin.
He think he sleeps in an ice machine.
Yeah.
He looked unbelievable.
The king of Ibrox.
Dougie Arnott, the place, jailed back.
For those that don't quite get the rhyming slang, the Dougie Arnott is the Barnett. Right, we're almost out of time, but again, remember, stealth competitions, they've got a big one coming up. I mentioned earlier the Lamborghini,
I heard that,
or Barry's
Lambo.
Rangers truck, and it's all going to happen, I think, on the event of the Masters you're playing in Aberdeen. Who's in your squad, Barry, for the Masters event?
No enough young players.
Right.
That's for sure. But this could be my last year. I'll need to get wheeled out. The old injuries are starting to. I'm suffering a wee bit, my knees, my ankles, but no, we've got a decent squad. We've got myself, Lee McCulloch, Cammy Bell, goalkeeper. This will be his first one. Nacho, if we can find him.
Haven't seen Nacho.
So we've got Waggy, haven't you? Waghorn.
Waghorn.
He's just retired.
He's got a nice left foot, close control.
Pedro Mendes.
Yep.
Big Alves was meant to be in, but he's injured himself. And I was saying to you before we come on here, it's one of the ones you try and get fit, but you've got to remember all these injuries catch up on you. So we'll need to bring somebody in and replace Big Alves. But it's always good to bump into the boys. We got beat in the final last year.
But they won better.
We got a few pelters. We got a few pelters up there. But looking forward to it. So, as I said to you, it's always good to bump into the boys because you don't really see them that much now.
Yep. And you're having to wave goodbye to your it's a Rangers truck, big honest truck.
Rangers
you
truck.
can win it. It's a Ford Ranger rather, isn't it?
Aye.
You can win it in stealth competition.
Aye, I miss it.
Is it electric now?
Yeah.
All electric.
All electric. He's thinking about the planet.
He's playing us.
Thanks for your company today on the 5-Star Podcast in conjunction with Stealth Competitions. Always a pleasure.
This week we are giving you the chance to win 2 VIP tickets to the sold out event for Brian Laudrup and George Alberts. All you have to do, head over to the site stealthcompetitions.co.uk and get your tickets for just 99p. You could be the lucky winner.